Welcome to episode 2 of the new Hardcore Ironman Road to PvM series. My goal of this episode is to work towards some of those late game quests for all the XP rewards that they give that'll help towards the 80 herblore. But before that, I just wanted to mention what I'm doing in terms of dailies on this account. Here's a spreadsheet of dailies, weeklies, and monthlies I'm doing. So if you see my divination level going up steadily, it's because I'm making sure to do my daily caches. And I'll be getting a bunch of random farming and prayer levels from things like Nemi Forests and player-owned farms. Shop runs are super important for summoning secondaries and broad arrows. Broad arrows are by far the best method to get all the way to 99 fletching on an Ironman. Now, getting into the insane progress this episode, finished all of Borix and Dorix tasks for the bonus XP to use towards 80 smithing, which is a requirement for invention. And I'm doing all my mining and smithing AFK while I'm working. And I knew this would happen. I got my first skilling pet on my laptop, which I don't have my recording software on the laptop, and I got it at 74 mining. And I've decided that I'm just not going to claim skilling pets or boss pets on this account. I'm just going to let them sit in the bank as the items, just because I've never done that before, and it's just a cool thing to do. I was catching some gray chinchampas because they're the highest level ranged weapons I can use, and I got a chinchampa from my player-owned farm, which is great. We'll need to get a breeding pair of those eventually. You might not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like for a ranged on this account. Gray chins with an adamant offhand knives. It works well enough for Infernal Mage Slayer assignments. Got a Daganna Slayer assignment, so I could go to DK's for that insane Slayer XP per kill. Got 55 Slayer, which unlocks a bunch of stuff. And DK's got me up to 100 boss kills, so I've unlocked the other boss portal. In terms of drops, I got the Warrior's Ring and a Berserker's Ring, which I guess is basically best in slot in terms of stats for now. The task got me to 60 Slayer, which is a milestone level, I guess. Doing my weekly Tears of Gothics, I'm basically trying to skip the early summoning level so I can save my charms for better pouches. Got 8 levels there from 26 to 34. It's a really nice weekly. And then this happened. I was on a giant mole reaper assignment. Hard mode mole is basically just as easy as normal mode, but the pet becomes way more common, and I got the pet at 20 kill count. I guess that makes giant mole the first boss pet on this account, so the road to insane final boss has officially started. If I get this lucky at Virago, I'll be good to go. Continuing the Slayer grind, I've got 70 defense, which unlocks a ton of armor that I won't be getting for a while. Then I decided it was time to start questing. Completed some essential quests like Creature of Fenkenstrain, Rum Deal, and Cabin Fever, which means the Black Mask hunt can begin. Got a DK's Reaper assignment, and got another Dragon Hatchet, which will be great to make an augmented Crystal Hatchet at some point. Then I got my next unlock at War's Retreat, the Altar, which restores prayer and summoning, which is super nice quality life upgrade and basically a must-have for future bossing. AFK'd Ivy all the way to 76 woodcutting, so we'll have that annoying requirement for the Branches of Darkmire done. And after another Tears of Gothics, I had the summoning level to complete Fairytale Part 3, which gives the watering can for the tool belt, as well as no longer needing a staff for the use of fairy rings, which is super nice. Then I got to 80 smithing, which is a requirement for invention, and I can also make Bainite gear when I get level 80 stats to use it. And I woke up one day with the urge to complete all the penguin quests, so after I realized that I had all the requirements for them, I did Sea Slug, which I should have done a long time ago for early fishing XP. Then I basically, in one sitting, did Cold War, Hunt for Red Rock Tuber, Some Like It Cold, and Back to the Freezer. The XP rewards on the last couple of quests basically make doing these worth it, along with the boosts to the Penguin Hide and Seek weekly. Got my Black Mask after about 500 and 600 kills at Cave Horrors, so not too dry, basically on drop rate. You get some pretty nice drops at Cave Horrors now, so at least the kills up to getting the Black Mask aren't as much of a waste of time with the updated loot they give. On a Barrow's Reaper assignment, got an Aram's Wand, which is great a weapon to get, because I can use it with the Antifire Shield if I ever have to kill metal dragons or something before getting super Antifire potions. Then I realized how close I was to the level requirements to While Gothic Sleeps, so I decided to work on some quests required for that classic Grandmaster quest. Completed King's Ransom, Temple of Ikov, Wanted, Garden of Tranquility, What Lies Below, the Hunt for Sorok mini quest, The Hand in the Sand, And finally, Defender of Varrock. While Gothic Sleeps requires access to the Warriors Guild, so I got up my melee stats at Hellhounds, which are super fast and easy with a Dragon Halberd. Basically got 65 attack and strength real quick, which added up to the 130 total needed to access the Warriors Guild. Finally got the Hunter level to complete Deadliest Catch, so I had to do the Tower of Life first, and then completed Deadliest Catch, which gives a ton of XP and unlocks some pretty useful deposit boxes. 65 farming was the last skill requirement I needed for While Gothic Sleeps, so I decided to go for the second Chinchompa I needed for a breeding pair. Spoiler alert, it did not go well. Got another female Chinchompa like 6 catches in, then I got 70 Hunter, which is cool. Then I got the freaking Hunter pet, so that's my second skilling pet on this account, and I'm pretty sure that is a heck of a lot rarer than getting a player-owned farm Chinchompa from catching these Azor Chinchompas. I ended up getting all the way to 75 Hunter without getting another Chinchompa, so that was about 2,500 catches dry on a 1 in 1,500 drop chance. 75 Hunter unlocks Big Game Hunter, so that's cool. Probably won't be doing any more Big Chinchompa daily, because I hate that daily, and 75 Hunter means I can just do Big Game Hunter for all my Hunter levels going forward. The Path of Glofrey was the last quest requirement for While Gothic Sleeps, so I completed the Eyes of Glofrey. Then I got 100 combat and 1800 total level off of a magic level from killing the warped terror birds at the end of the quest. And with that quest done, I just need 65 farming to do While Gothic Sleeps. Completed Death of Chivalry, since the Skull of Remembrance is pretty nice for a part of While Gothic Sleeps, and I'll also get a ton of prayer XP from the post-quest rewards eventually. Completed Roving Elves for that free Tier 70 crystal bow, and that quest is also a requirement for a few other quests. Got 67 Slayer, which is a requirement for Branches of Darkmire, which I got to use my Aram's Wand for these Steel Dragons, since I'm not quite at 69 Herblore for the Anti-Fire Potions. That Slayer assignment also got me to 300 Slayer points, so I can finally unlock the Broad Arrow Fletching to finish 70 Fletching, which is the last requirement for Branches of Darkmire. Already had like 20,000 Broad Arrowheads banked, which didn't quite get me to 70. I had to wait a couple days for that. In the meantime, I completed Shades of Morton, because that quest is technically a requirement for Ironman to do the Legacy of Seergaze, which I completed right afterwards. It's not the worst vampire quest, but it involves Myrditch, so it's still pretty pesky. AFK Gem Rocks all the way to 80 crafting, so that requirement for Invention is done. I just gotta wait for daily caches to get me to 80 Divination, and I'll be able to start working on Invention gains. With Gem Rocks, not only is it a super easy, decently fast crafting XP method, you get a ton of gems to use for porters, teleport jewelry, and you can disassemble them for nice invention components later on. Got 80 magic on a Barrow's Reaper assignment, which unlocks a bunch of stuff. A lot of stuff I won't be able to use, or might get the Chaotic Staff at some point if I need it. Completed Prisoner of Glofrey, since it's just a ton of XP that you get from this quest, including enough agility XP to get me to 65, which means I can actually do auto cycles, which is not the most efficient agility method, but it's something I can AFK while working, so it works out for me. Finished 70 Fletching, which means it's time to do Branches of Darkmire. Now, the boss fight is the highlight of the quest, but nowadays Vanstorm is honestly really easy, even with my sad gear setup. Ate like one food that I didn't even need to eat. I just gotta stay safe HP on hardcore account at all times, especially at this point since I don't have a sign of life yet. There was a hardcore death broadcast in the chat when he exploded, which was super spooky, but I've done this fight enough times to know that I was safe from that attack. And with that quest done, I could claim my first big Herblore XP boost from these major quests to do on the way to 80 Herblore. The Lord of Vampirum will have to wait a while on some insane high skill requirements. Branches of Darkmire also happened to get me to 65 farming, which was the last requirement I needed for While Gothic Sleeps, and I managed to complete both of these huge quests back to back. Kind of wished I recorded the fight with a Balance Elemental, because I didn't bank for food or even a Super Restore Potion after doing the puzzle part. So I was left with like one food left and almost had to teleport out because he drained my stats so much. Got up to 74 Herblore with all the XP rewards, and with While Gothic Sleeps done, I think it's time to call this an episode. Next episode, we'll be working towards the requirements for the next big quests, which are Ritual of Madrat and Lord of Vampirum. I should also be able to unlock Invention next time. With that, thanks for watching, and see you next time.